today to all the different kinds of mothers that are here today. I've been very blessed to have so many motherly influences in my life. My mom, my mother-in-law, my bonus mother-in-law, Julia, who's here today. They're amazing, and they set the mothering standards very high. I also want to acknowledge that this is a hard day for some. I know from my own experience. When David Jones asked me to speak about this experience that I'm going to talk about, I immediately thought, yes, of course. I had this experience so I could share with others. Let's do it. And my next thought was, wait a second. I got to get up on stage. I got to do it twice. I'm kind of nervous about that. So it is going to take God's supernatural power to get me through this. So just bear with me and ignore my nerves and my notes. My husband Bobby and I found out I was pregnant in the spring of 2003. And although we were thrilled, we knew that a positive pregnancy test doesn't mean you automatically have a baby 9 months later. We had experienced the loss of an early pregnancy the year before, so each week after I made it past that magical 3-month mark, we began to get more and more excited, and our hopes and dreams about this baby just grew. Fast forward to September 5th, 2003, almost 14 years ago. After an uneventful, healthy pregnancy, my water broke, and we were headed to the hospital to have a baby. We were living in Holly Springs at the time and going to Cary. Unfortunately, I ended up needing general anesthesia to deliver Josh by an emergency C-section. And after waking up from anesthesia, I was told that Josh had a significant heart murmur. I'm a nurse, and so I knew, there's a range that could mean. Those were words I'll never forget. We had to be transferred to Duke from Wake Med-Cary for further testing. And at Duke, we were told that Joshua was born with 3 chambers of his heart, not 4, just 3. And that was not picked up in earlier ultrasound. If he had survived through these 3 major procedures or surgeries over the next few years, or if he were to receive a heart transplant, he would have a chance at a normal life. But that was a big if, and those were some big things to overcome. Over the next few days, that sweet baby had to endure tests, procedures, examinations. Not to mention, Bobby and I were exhausted physically and emotionally, most we've ever been in our life. We didn't know what to expect, and we were terrified. On September 9th, Josh suffered some complications after a procedure and a surgery, and about 11:11 p.m., he left my arms and joined Jesus' loving arms. We laid him to rest 1 week after his birth on September 12th, and the path for my life took an unexpected turn. As we began to pick up the pieces of our broken hearts, and I started to process what happened, I began to realize that I was thankful for so many things. Acknowledging the good things gave me the strength to get up every day. I was so thankful that I was able to hold Joshua David, change his diapers, feed him, take in his scent, and tell him I loved him over and over and over again. I was thankful that I saw Bobby as a new father. Seeing him hold our baby made me so proud of him and fall in love with him on such a deeper level. I was thankful that I had a husband that understood the loss like nobody else could, and that he knew the only thing he could do was love me and let me grieve however I needed to. I was thankful to see the look on my parents' eyes as their dream of becoming a grandparent became a reality. I was thankful for Bobby's parents for so many reasons as well. They were so strong for us at the funeral home and helped us with arrangements that you hope you never have to help do for your grandchildren. I was thankful for the strength of our siblings, that they put aside their grief to be strong in front of us. During those first weeks after, David and Kelly Hardy, not Jones, insisted we sleep in their bed and live in their house because we couldn't bear to return to an empty nursery at our home. I was thankful for our amazing friends who did anything and everything we needed, from getting our dog that first night in the middle of the night, because that's what I wanted, my dog, and calling the doctor, harassing my OBGYN the next day because my milk came in. I didn't know what to do with it. So Erica helped out with that. I was thankful. Our family and friends embraced us with love and did anything we needed. I will be forever grateful to the Cary Police Department. They supported us in ways you wouldn't believe, and they watched over Bobby so closely so I didn't have to worry about him when he returned to work. And I was thankful for my managers at Duke who allowed me to take full maternity leave before returning to work. I could go on and on all day about things I was thankful for and how people loved us. You see, there were so many blessings for which I was thankful. How could I feel thankful in a time like this? I realized I was feeling God's love for me through all the actions, support, encouragement, and love of others. This is God's grace and his relentless love for me. The feeling in my soul was thankfulness and gratitude. And on most days, it was stronger than the sadness. It was God's faith, grace, and powerful love for me that made it possible for me to feel that way. Every single time my sadness would start to overwhelm me, it picked me up and showed me how to move forward. So with a grateful heart, my faith grew, and I could not doubt that God loved me. And it was easy for my love to grow stronger for God. A meaningful, true relationship formed with my God as a result of this tragedy. And my trust in God's plans strengthened, and my doubt faded. Although I was terrified of losing another child, I relied on the trust and faith I had in God, and we began to try for another baby. I prayed for God to take my fears, and he answered those prayers. On December 19th, 2005, a week before Christmas, our sweet, beautiful boy, Dylan James, was born, and he's 11 years old now. And 3 years later, with joyful hearts, we welcomed Sassy Taylor Sue, you guys know her, and she's 8 years old. And they have healthy hearts. And we are happy. It brings me such joy to share Josh's story with you today. His short life had such meaning and purpose. I just ask you to think that if God's relentless love and grace can bring Bobby and I and our families through that, just imagine what he can do for you. I would like to end by sharing a reading, A Wide Spectrum of Mothering by Amy Young. To those who gave birth this year to their first child, we celebrate with you. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are in the trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stain, we appreciate you. To those who experienced loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointment, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate with you. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. To those who experienced abuse at the hands of your own mother, we acknowledge your experience. To those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and the overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who have aborted children, we remember them and you on this day. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we mourn that this life has not turned out the way you longed for it to be. To those who step-parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. To those who envisioned lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. To those who will have emptier nests in the upcoming year, we grieve and rejoice with you. To those who place children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you hold that child in your heart. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, we walk with you. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We remember you.